Story begins with a beautiful sunrise in the morning. A girl opens her eyes and removes a piece of cardboard from her window to look outside. She sees a schoolgirl quietly walking to school, and there's a red line over her head. Meanwhile, a man sitting in a car has so many red lines on his head that you'd need a calculator, an abacus, and maybe a few extra lifetimes to count them all. This schoolgirl's name is Seo, and the man keeps calling her to get into his car because he's her uncle. Seo refuses and walks away. A little while later, Seo sees another girl in front of her building. This girl also has a lot of red lines over her head. She's just moved in here. Her name is Nyung, and she's waving hello. But our girl quickly shuts the door and sits inside. Her name is Shin, and we can consider her one of the main characters. While watching TV, Shin narrates that since childhood, she has always been able to see red lines on people's heads. She never understood what they meant. Her father had 2 lines, so she drew them. The red lines meant the number of sexual partners someone had. In her father's case, even after marriage, he was having affairs with other women. When her mother, Mong, found out, she got so angry that she stabbed Shin's father and ran away. Shin saw everything and understood one thing. Whenever she saw red lines, someone would end up dead. So she wanted the red lines to disappear from her vision. She began keeping her eyes closed most of the time. She tried jumping off the roof, cutting her wrists, and many other ways to die, but nothing worked. Her wounds would heal on their own. Basically, she had the healing powers of Wolverine, but none of the cool outfits. Now she was left alone in the world, wondering why she could see these death lines and how to get rid of them. Just then, the doorbell rang. It was the same girl from before, Nyung, asking her to open the door repeatedly. She wanted to be friends, but Shin didn't reply. Nyung eventually left some fruit outside and went away. Shin picked it up and started eating like she hadn't had fruit in years. Honestly, she looked like a panda who just found its first bamboo stick in months. In the next scene, we see Seo's uncle, who is a police officer named Juk. Today, he's late for work and his senior is scolding him. Juk complains that he's tired of taking care of his niece. Another officer jokes, "Well, when you get married, who will take care of her then?" And everyone laughs. A while later, Juk goes inside with a female colleague who invites him to a wedding, but he refuses. It's then confirmed that Juk has had many sexual partners and has been physically involved with a lot of people. In short, his red lines probably look like a barcode. Next, we shift to a school in Korea, where we meet Kim Hye, a notorious troublemaker and bully. She's on the rooftop, bullying the same schoolgirl from earlier, Seo. By hitting her, Kim kicks her and says, "Why didn't you bring the money?" She also threatens her, saying, "How dare you tell the police about us?" She warns Seo not to think that just because her uncle is a cop, they would be scared. Then she beats her up even more. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, a crime scene is being investigated. A girl who lived alone has been found dead. It's been quite some time since her boyfriend left her. The investigation shows she used to order food from restaurants every day, and her home was kept very clean. The neighbor said that last night a man wearing a helmet had entered the dead girl's house. Maybe it was a food delivery guy. Everyone started suspecting him. But there was no evidence inside the house. So how could they find the killer? After more investigation, it was revealed that the girl hadn't ordered any food last night. So maybe the helmet guy was actually the murderer. Detective Dong said that the girl had been separated from her boyfriend for a whole year. The next scene shows Shin, who had ordered food for herself and was eating it while watching TV. On TV, the same news about the girl's murder was playing, saying that a helmet-wearing man was suspected. In the footage, a man wearing the same kind of helmet was shown, and on his head, Shin could see a single red line. Shin found this strange because these days, in Korea, finding a man with only one red line is like finding a unicorn. Rare, magical, and probably extinct, since most men there have many sexual partners. Shin had also seen the same man outside her building at night and got scared. The man entered the house of the girl who lived across from her. Shin quickly called the police and said, "The helmet guy you're looking for, he's right in front of my house." But then the man took off his helmet, and it turned out he had come to romance the girl, not murder her. Shin quickly hung up the phone, and just like that, the man's red line count went up to 2. "Congratulations, sir, your player scoreboard just started blinking." The next day at school, Kim was looking for Seo because she hadn't shown up. For bullies like Kim, a school day without weak kids is boring because in their world, punching someone's face is as essential as breakfast. They broke Seo's locker, checked her stuff, and read her love letters out loud to the whole class, making fun of her. Meanwhile, Juk was at home, tired from work, when Seo finally came back. He asked why she hadn't gone to school. Seo, instead of answering, asked him for money. Juk refused and asked where the money he gave her earlier had gone. Seo insisted, "Just give it." Juk saw her injured face and asked what had happened, but Seo just shut the door without saying a word. Juk's eyes then fell on Shin's house, where every window was covered with cardboard. Curious, he called the police station to find out where last night's call had come from. It was from Shin's house, so he went there and asked her to open the door, saying, "You called the police last night?" Shin, who could see a huge number of red lines on his head, instantly thought, "Yep, this guy is definitely a playboy. Those many lines don't come from church picnics." Juk introduced himself as a detective and explained why he was there. At that moment, a man from upstairs came down and told Juk that Shin never went outside or talked to anyone. Juk asked her if she had seen anything last night. Shin admitted, "It was a mistake. I thought he was the killer, but they were just a couple." Juk noticed she was quite young, so he asked if she went to school and where her parents were. Shin quickly slammed the door in his face. The next night, another delivery guy came by, peeking into Shin's house, and he had one red line on his head. Meanwhile, Seo, frustrated because her uncle didn't give her money, went to the market. Kim kept messaging her to come to school with the money. Seo was scared and unsure what to do. Then she spotted a woman carrying cash, probably just got her salary from the office, and walking home while counting it. Seo began following her to snatch the money. But a few people appeared nearby, and her plan failed. At the police station, a case was progressing. Dong revealed that the dead girl's ex-boyfriend, named Young-sik, was a schoolteacher. They even found his address, and it turned out he lived close to Juk's house. From the photo, it was clear. This was the same man Shin had met in the building earlier that morning, the one who had said, "Sir, this girl never goes outside." Juk remembered everything. Just then, he got a call and had to rush straight to the hospital because his father had been admitted. Apparently, his father had gone up to the rooftop, ready to jump, but they somehow managed to save him. Well, looks like drama runs in the family. Meanwhile, Detective Jong had entered Jong-sik's house to investigate. The entire place was painted in red, and not the romantic wine red kind, but the "you're probably a serial killer" kind. Jong called Yuk to tell him everything. Suddenly, Jong-sik attacked him, put on a helmet, and left, probably to find a new victim. Shin saw all of this. She picked up a knife and stepped outside for the first time in ages. She was so out of practice with the outside world that she couldn't even walk down the stairs properly, fainted, and fell unconscious on the road. Yep, the fearless heroine who wants to stop a killer gets defeated by gravity. She then saw an illusion of her mother, hands covered in blood calling her over. This might have been from the time her mother killed her father. On the other side, the girl across the street opened the door, thinking her boyfriend had come again with his helmet for a romantic visit. But surprise, it was Jong-sik. She recognized him and asked what he was doing there. Here's the twist. Jong-sik could also see red lines. In anger, he started attacking the girl. Shin appeared and told him to let her go, but Jong-sik didn't care, saying, "What will you do? Kill me?" Shin stood there trembling. Jong-sik snatched her knife and stabbed her in the stomach, killing her instantly. Then he went back to attacking the girl, but she pushed him away and tried to help Shin. While looking for his glasses, Yoo-seok arrived outside and noticed Shin's glasses lying on the road. He decided to return them to her apartment. Inside, he saw strange, disturbing photos all over the walls and was so stunned he just stood at the window, watching what was happening outside. By then, Jong-sik had almost killed the girl, but suddenly, Shin got up and stabbed his leg, then attacked him until she killed him. Now you might wonder, how did Shin survive? Well, here's the thing. No matter how badly she gets injured, her wounds heal automatically. She's basically immortal, think Wolverine, but with way worse luck. As Jong-sik died, the red lines on his head started disappearing. Shin noticed this soon after the police arrived and took over the case. But one thought kept bothering her. Could Jong-sik also see the red lines? After the police left, Jerk asked her, "Who was that man? Do you know him?" Shin didn't answer and just walked away. The next morning, Duke came home and Seo greeted him with, "If you're here to give me money, good. Otherwise, get out." Truly the politeness of a saint, Duke replied. "Am I your ATM or something? Tell me what happened at school," Seo said. "What's the point? Will anything change?" "Last time I told you you didn't do anything, and then you disappeared. After that I was beaten up even more." Hearing this, Duke got upset and asked, "And what were you doing with Shin?" Seo explained, "She used to be my classmate, but her mom killed her dad and ran away. Since then, Shin hasn't come to school." That's when we learn that Shin is actually young. She's still a schoolgirl. In the final scene, Shin is seen sitting without her glasses looking across the city. All she can see are endless red lines everywhere. Yep, immortality plus constant reminders of people's hookup history, truly the dream life. Suddenly, a message popped up. "That thing you see? I can see it too. Come to my high school, we'll find a solution together." But it wasn't revealed who sent the message or what exactly it meant, and that's where episode 1 ended. Episode 2 began with the introduction of Garjin, a schoolteacher and another main character in our story. She was very beautiful, popular among the students, and everyone seemed to like her. She also came across as a very simple, innocent person. You know, the "I'm so innocent" type, until you find out she has more drama than a K-drama finale. Meanwhile, after the recent incident, Shin had removed a cardboard barrier from her home and was thinking, should she try to fix everything? Should she live normally? Should she go outside and see the world? Back at school, Seo showed up today, but everyone was insulting her, making fun of her and bullying her. On top of that, Kim was reading out Seo's love letter loudly in class to humiliate her even more. Seo, furious, attacked Kim, and the two girls started fighting. It was a proper all-out brawl. Kim beat Seo up badly until Garjin, their class teacher, stepped in to stop the fight. She warned them that fighting in school would not end well for them. But strangely, she didn't scold both girls. Only Seo. Classic teacher move. Punish the weaker kid so you don't have to deal with the popular one's parents. After school, Seo was walking home and looked at her locker in an empty classroom. Inside was a pair of glasses, the same glasses that belonged to the teacher who was beating the girls in the last episode, the one Shin had killed. Meanwhile, Juk was still going over the case. Dong said, "Why are you still looking at the file? The killer is dead, the case is closed." But Juk wanted to know, why did that man kill the girls? He wasn't mentally ill or a psychopath, so why take innocent lives? This was a huge question for Juk. Dong explained that the man was a teacher and knew those girls beforehand, but Juk still wasn't satisfied with that answer. He went to Jong-sik's house and saw red lines everywhere. On the other side, Seo reached home and put on the glasses, looking at herself in the mirror. She saw a red line on her head. Because she had only one sexual partner, she was confused, wondering what these red lines actually were, even trying to touch them. Just then Juk arrived, and when Seo saw the massive shower of red lines covering his head, she got so scared she ran out of the house. Imagine thinking your crush is cute and then realizing he's basically a walking spaghetti diagram. Shin was outside and saw Seo running away. Seo then reached the market, but seeing red lines on everyone's heads made her feel like her brain was about to explode. What on earth was going on? The next day, Juk told her to come with him to school again, but Seo refused after seeing so many red lines. She even told him to go by himself. By now, she had figured out why these lines were visible in the first place. When she went to school, she saw lines on everyone's heads. Many girls had 10 lines each. Wow! That school's extracurricular activities are on another level. Kim had 2 lines. One straight, and another connecting to someone else. meaning both were currently active, and that someone was a teacher. Yes, Kim had a sexual relationship with a teacher. Seo was shocked. That day, Gajin introduced a new student to the class, Yul. She was shy and didn't talk much. Probably the only one in that school whose headline count wouldn't need a calculator. On the other side, we see Juk looking at a photo of Young-sik. In the photo, Young-sik was wearing glasses, but no such glasses were found at his house or among his belongings. So where did those glasses go? Yuk decided to head straight to the school. Gajin greeted him, saying, "You're Juk, right? You're very handsome. How are you this handsome?" Juk replied, "I'm Seo's uncle, and I came here to talk to you about something," Gajin said. "Seo is a mentally unstable girl. She behaves strangely." "Oh, sure, blame the girl instead of asking why she's basically living in a horror movie." Juk felt bad after hearing all this and admitted that he hadn't been able to raise her well, but he explained that today he wasn't here to talk about Seo. He wanted to ask about Jong-sik and his glasses. He thought maybe the glasses could be found at school, but Gajin told him no one at the school wore glasses. Meanwhile, Seo was once again getting beaten up by Kim on the rooftop for not bringing money. Yul arrived to stop them, but Kim got angry and said, "Oh, so the new student is teaming up against me." She then started hitting Yul too. Even dangling her off the edge of the roof, Yul warned, "If I fall, I'll take you down with me. I won't spare you." Kim got scared and ran away. That was the start of a small friendship between Seo and Yul, back with Juk. He was still talking to the teacher and casually said, "Mum, your top buttons are open. You should close them." Before leaving, Seo saw him and wondered why exactly he had come to her school. From there, Juk went straight to a bar where Jong-sik used to visit often. A waiter told him, "Yes, Jong-sik came here a lot. Wearing some weird glasses and counting strange lines above people's heads, we couldn't see anything ourselves." Juk noted everything down. Then a girl sitting nearby became impressed by Juk's diary and offered to spend the night with him. Juk followed her to her room, confused as to how anyone could be so impressed by a diary that they'd offer sex. "Bro, if a girl is interested, even your grocery list can seem sexy if she's not. You could be Tom Cruise and she'd still run for the hills." Now it became clear why Juk had so many lines above his head, because this guy never misses a single opportunity that night. Seo was on her way home when she saw Kim entering a hotel with her teacher to spend the night together. Seo secretly took photos and videos outside the hotel. Kim went inside and had a romantic night with the teacher. This explained why Kim had so much influence in school, why no one reported her, and why no teacher dared to stop her. Seo immediately sent her the hotel photos with the teacher. But Kim wasn't scared at all, believing that since she was underage, only the teacher would get in trouble. The next day, the photos reached the teacher too, and Seo demanded money. Otherwise, she'd make them viral. After school, Seo and Yul were walking home. Seo was planning to take money from the teacher, move into a new house, and start a new life. Yul asked, "What happened? Why are you moving to a new place? Don't you have a family? Where are they?" Seo replied, "No, I don't have any family." Meanwhile, Kim and the teacher were panicking in fear. Kim said, "Seo is behind all this. If someone gets caught, it'll be you, because I'm just a minor." The teacher shouted at her in anger. After getting the glasses, Seo began taking advantage of them. She blackmailed a few other teachers the same way, demanding money. One day in the washroom, she had taken off her glasses to wash her face when Yul saw her. Yul asked, "What happened? Your eyes don't seem to have any problem, so why do you wear glasses?" Seo replied, No, my eyesight is bad." Then Yul said, "I know you can see the red lines. I can see them too." "Well, great, now they're basically forming the We See Creepy Lines Club." Seo asked, "Okay, what is this? Fine, tell me, how many are on my head?" Yul replied, "You have one, but on Kim's head, I can see 2 lines because she's having an affair with her teacher." Yul then started asking where Seo got the glasses. Seo said she found them in a locker. Yule told her about Full, the teacher who died in the last episode, and said, "You already know about him. It's not good to wear those glasses, they can cause serious harm." But Seo just took the glasses and left. Because obviously, when you're warned about cursed murder glasses, the logical thing is to keep them like a fashion accessory. In reality, the glasses were cursed, and soon we'd see exactly what they'd make her do later. After crossing a bridge, Seo asked Yule, "If these glasses are so dangerous, how do I get rid of them?" Yule replied, "I don't know, but these glasses always end up causing someone's death. They're tied to murder." Meanwhile, the teacher was looking at the photos, terrified. His jail time seemed certain. He called Seo. At that moment, Seo was at her boyfriend's house to spend the night. The teacher told her, "Come to the school roof right now at night to take the money." Hearing this, Seo felt like her life was about to get so much better. Soon she'd have lots of money. In her head, forget sugar daddies. I'll be my boyfriend's sugar mommy. She happily imagined spending on him and started going out with him more. But Kim had been secretly following Seo because she'd overheard Seo and Yule talking in the washroom. She had learned about the glasses' powers and that wearing them lets you see red lines. Kim quietly stole the glasses. A little later, when Seo couldn't find them, she panicked and started searching everywhere. She yelled at Yule, accusing her of stealing them. "Give them back! I'm going to the school to collect money right now, but if you don't give me my glasses, I won't spare you." But the glasses were with Kim. Kim put them on and walked around, shocked to see red lines over people's heads. It was like entering a completely different world. Just then, someone kidnapped her. Seo reached the rooftop. The teacher didn't have the money, but told her a sob story. "What will happen to my wife and kids if they find out? My home will be destroyed, I'll lose my job, maybe even go to jail. Please delete the photos." Seo laughed and said, "Oh, really? And when Kim used to bully me, beat me, you watched happily." The teacher apologized, but Seo still demanded money. Then the teacher's wife texted him. She had received the photos and was furious that he cheated on her with a student. The teacher asked Seo, "Why did you send the photos to my wife?" Seo replied, "I didn't send anything." Meanwhile, Yule was running towards the school. Knowing the glasses were cursed, she arrived just in time to see Seo falling from the rooftop. Seo hit the ground and died. Because the glasses were cursed, and whoever owned them or came in contact with them was doomed. The red lines were tied to murder and death. Episode 3 began right with Seo lying on the ground after the fall. Shin, yes, the same Shin from episode 1, ran toward her. Apparently in this drama, everyone reappears like it's a surprise party for death. Shin, who had cut her hair and joined the school, got Seo rushed to the hospital. From behind, Juk came running in a hurry and asked Shin, "What were you two doing at the school?" Shin explained, "I don't know why Seo went to school, but I followed her to find out." That's when Shin became sure. Seo didn't fall by accident, someone had pushed her. The next day, the principal was yelling at the entire school, "You people can't even take care of the students. Where is our Korean teacher? Such a big incident happened and the Korean teacher is missing." Now, this was the same Korean teacher who was having an affair with Kim, and in the last episode, he was the one Seo went to meet on the rooftop. When the principal got angrier at this teacher, a female teacher stood up and started yelling back at the principal, "It's not our fault. It's the students' fault. Why do they go looking to end their lives?" Soon the argument got heated. Meanwhile, Shin was seen walking into class. Kim hadn't come to school that day either. Students were gossiping. Seo jumped from the rooftop, and now Kim is also missing. School's not going to be fun anymore. Today's going to be such a boring day. Wow, someone literally almost dies. And these kids are sad about losing their daily dose of gossip, priorities, people. Teacher Eun-saem, Seo's homeroom teacher, was very sad. She blamed herself, thinking that if she had taken care of Seo, she wouldn't have jumped. And with the Korean teacher also missing, everyone kept asking where he went. Here we meet a new character, Young, who used to teach here. He had just quit his job. Another teacher asked, "Why are you leaving? Weren't you inviting us to your wedding next week?" Young replied, "No, I cancelled the wedding and I'll be moving to Canada in a week." He then moved into his sister's house. His sister's life was already hard, taking care of the house, the child, and with her husband, disappearing for 4-5 days at a time, saying he was busy with work. Translation: busy means either avoiding responsibility or auditioning for a magician role by disappearing. Next, we saw Shin and Juk in the hospital with Seo. Later, Shin went to the place from where Seo had fallen. There, a girl with braids came and said, "I think Kim pushed Seo. She bullied her all the time, and since Seo fell, Kim has also been missing. There's going to be a funeral for Seo, right?" "I'll come too," Shin replied. "Stop talking nonsense, she's not dead. She's alive." As they spoke, the class president passed by, wearing glasses that looked familiar to Shin. She asked where he got them, tried them on and saw they were normal. No red lines. Meanwhile, in the office, Jung found a pair of glasses. He asked Ga-jin, "Are these yours?" She said, "No, they're not mine. You wear them. They'll look good on you." He put them on, and suddenly started seeing the red lines. Yes, these were the magical glasses. At first, he couldn't understand why he was seeing them, but when he looked at Juk and saw a crazy number of lines, he was shocked. Bro had more red lines than a failing exam paper. Juk came to talk to Ga-jin, and she apologized, saying, "Even though I was Seo's homeroom teacher, I couldn't take proper care of her." Juk said, "It's okay, but I think she was pushed. Who used to bully her?" "Tell me their names," Ga-jin replied. "She hasn't been coming to school recently." Juk then looked at Seo's phone wallpaper, which led him to her so-called boyfriend. He asked the boy who he was and how he knew Seo. At first, the boy denied everything, but after seeing the photo, he admitted that Seo had forced him to go to a hotel room to get physical with her. Juk asked, "So did you?" The boy said, "We did go, and we kissed. I was trying to stop her, but she was way too hungry. Just kidding." Bruh. Who makes this kind of joke when someone's in the hospital? Social skills 0. It turned out he wasn't actually a boyfriend. He was just a classmate Seo liked, and she had dragged him to the hotel against his will. Juk asked, "What else happened?" The boy remembered that she lost something and then suddenly ran off while searching for it. Juk checked the CCTV footage from the store. There he saw Kim grabbing Seo's bag and running away. She then took out a pair of glasses from the bag, put them on, and walked off. Juk kept tracking her through the CCTV until he saw her enter some dark place and disappear. Meanwhile, at night, Jung was at home wearing the glasses. He saw 35 red lines on his brother-in-law's head. Bro wasn't just cheating, he was running a whole subscription service. He even saw a few lines on his sister's head. Jung didn't comment on that. His brother-in-law then asked, "Why did you cancel your wedding, little bro?" Jung replied, "Because she used to sleep with someone else while being with me." The two of them went downstairs for a man-to-man talk, but Jung's eyes were still stuck on the red lines on his brother-in-law's head. While drunk, the brother-in-law pressed the wrong lift button. 4th floor instead of 6th, where they actually lived. But strangely, his red lines were connected to an apartment on the 4th floor. And red lines only connect when there's been, you know, that kind of relationship, which meant he didn't press the wrong button at all. He was drunk but still hit the right floor. Just not his home. This man's loyalty is like a Wi-Fi signal, strong everywhere except where it should be. Elsewhere, Juk was arguing with his senior because the case wasn't even being written down. They thought it was just another schoolgirl jumping from the rooftop. Nothing unusual. It happens all the time, they said. But Juk was sure someone had pushed Seo. By the next day at school, Jung had seen all the teachers' affairs, male or female didn't matter. Each had 15 to 20 red lines on their heads, but Ga-jin? Not a single one. Either she's a saint or she's got the premium Hide Your Affair DLC installed. Let me make something clear here. Ga-jin, our main character, might have some secret way of hiding her red lines because she gives off those mysterious vibes every now and then. You won't feel it just reading. Only when you watch, you'll get it. Then Jung asked Ga-jin, "Ian, if your partner cheated on you, what would you do?" Ga-jin replied, "I'd just watch and enjoy. If he wants to do it, Let him. This woman treats infidelity like a Netflix series. That evening, Young came home with his sister and niece. Outside, he saw a courier box. It was addressed to the 4th floor. When he went to deliver it, it turned out to be the same apartment where his brother-in-law's red line was connected. Suddenly, a woman came out of the lift. Young hid, and she took the package inside. She also had many red lines on her head. She was the one having an affair with Young's brother-in-law, and he visited her at night. By the next day, photos of Kim and the Korean teacher outside a hotel had gone viral. Honestly, at this point, the school needs less security guards and more relationship counselors. The truth finally came out, and a teacher's dead body was found in their car in the parking lot. A letter was there too, saying, "I'm ending my life out of shame." People claimed the body had been lying there for 3 days, but Juk didn't believe it. He thought the car wasn't even parked properly, meaning someone definitely killed them and then placed the body there. Because if you're going to fake a suicide, at least parallel park like a normal adult. Meanwhile, Shin and Little Ponytail Girl were heading home. The three of them started walking out together when Juk, standing outside, told Shin to get into the car. Ponytail Girl asked, "Who's this? You trying to harass us? Should I call the police?" Juk showed his ID and said, "I am the police. Now tell me what happened." Juk then started asking Shin about the glasses, because even in the first episode, the killer had those glasses. Kim had stolen them from Seo. But what was the secret behind them? Shin said, "First bring me the glasses, then I'll tell you the secret." Meanwhile, Young's beloved brother-in-law was busy trying to impress a girl half his age by giving her a necklace. Bro's not just robbing the cradle, he's building a luxury nursery. And yes, it was the same 4th floor woman, Young called him. "Where are you, bro-in-law?" The man lied. "I'm in a meeting, kid, busy, keep the phone," Young replied. "Give the phone to my sister, I need to talk to her." That night, inside a hotel room, there were red lines everywhere. Seriously, at this point, I wasn't sure if this was an affair tracker or a laser tag arena. Young grabbed his brother-in-law's hand and started beating him up. The man begged, "Please don't tell your sister, I'll explain to her, don't worry, I'll stop all this, I'll change." Young said, "Fine, change, because I'm leaving tomorrow." The next day, Young was packing to go to Canada. Before leaving, he asked his sister, "Where's your husband? Have you spoken to him?" She said, "Oh, he's always like that. He'll be back in 4 or 5 days. Don't worry, you go safely." Young then went to school to collect his things. But on the 4th floor woman's Instagram, he saw a pregnancy photo. That's when his brain exploded. This man didn't just cheat, he added DLC content without consent. Now, both the brother-in-law and the mistress were about to dump his sister in the worst way possible. He ran to the road and saw his sister ramming her car into the 4th floor woman's car. The brother-in-law also showed up to comfort his side chick. Young went forward and started punching the man, but his sister stopped him, saying, "Leave it, forget it, he's not even worth it." Juk, still frustrated, wondered what to do about the glasses, what was really going on. He searched Shio's room and found her diary filled with drawings of red lines. He showed them to Shin and asked, "What is this? What does it mean?" Shin explained that the lines only appear when someone has had a physical relationship with another person. So basically, the glasses are like a lie detector, except they detect who's been doing the horizontal tango. And with that, episode 3 came to an end. Episode 4 starts right where we left off. Shin had told Juk everything about the glasses, including that maybe Seo was blackmailing someone because of them. That could be why someone tried to kill her next scene. Shin sees the lines on Seo's head disappearing. That means Seo is dead. Shin suddenly wakes up screaming in the middle of class. It was just a dream. Her friends ask why she screamed, but she says nothing. "Let me introduce you to this guy, Jaseo." He secretly likes Shin a lot and asks if they should all hang out after school. Shin says no, explaining she's working a part-time job now, so going out isn't possible. Bro just got friend-zoned with the force of a meteor impact. Meanwhile, we meet a new character, Rari. She works at the same school, but she's getting scolded for not doing her job properly. She also has a pair of the magic glasses and can see the S lines. Her senior's head has no lines at all. Since the senior is older, Rari thinks to herself, has she really never had sex in her life? Yes, Rari. Some people's hobby is Netflix and napping, not collecting red lines like Pokemon cards. At lunch, everyone's eating when Rari announces she'll quit soon and become an actress. Just then, everyone notices the music teacher. Tall, handsome, and apparently single, they start talking about how good-looking he is, wondering if they should ask him out. Rari, who already wants to sleep with him, smiles to herself. Her smile said a future Oscar winner, but her brain said future awkward HR complaint. That night, Rari is seen wearing a wig outside a hotel. Meanwhile, Juk is telling Dong that everything is happening because of those glasses, which reveal who's slept with whom. Naturally, no one believes such a ridiculous-sounding claim. Shin is at her night job working at the hotel. Her friends show up trying to check in. Shin tells them they can't, they're minors. Ponytail Girl says, "You're a minor too. What are you doing here?" So Shin lets them in anyway, and the three sit around chatting. Ponytail Girl keeps pushing Shin toward Jasio because she knows he likes her, but can't say it. Then Rari walks in, the same woman we saw outside. Ponytail Girl looks at her and says she's seen her somewhere before but can't recall where. Later, in her hotel room, Rari starts talking about how she slept with many people but never really enjoyed it. She says she only wants to do it with the music teacher. After spending the night at the hotel, she leaves in the morning, Ponytail Girl remembers. Rari works at their school. Back home, Rari puts on her glasses to check out the red lines again. Meanwhile, Juk is reading Shin's file and learns that when she was little, she told her mother, through a drawing, that her father was having an affair with her aunt. After that, Shin's mother killed her father. Juk then goes to the hospital with Shin and asks her how many lines Seo had. Shin says she won't reveal such private things, but does tell him one thing. Whoever Seo's line connected to, they definitely weren't from their school. Juk asks if she thinks anyone else could have the glasses. She says she doesn't know. The next day, Shin sees a criminal on TV. He has the exact same glasses. That's when it becomes clear there are many such glasses spread all over Korea. Great. As if K-drama villains weren't enough, now we've got a nationwide who's sleeping with who surveillance club. Finally, we see Rari again, this time directly going to the music teacher to pursue her physical happiness. They talk normally at first, but by the end of their conversation their red lines connect. Congratulations, Rari, your Lifetime Achievement Award for subtlety has been permanently revoked. This means both of them might have feelings for each other and are ready to sleep together. Here, Jasio brings Shin and himself to the swimming pool after school. Shin jumps into the water and just sits inside. Jasio gets worried and jumps in to save her. Then they both come out and start eating noodles. Shin says, "I can see lines on people." Jasio asks, "What kind of lines? Do I have them?" "Tell me." Shin replies, "No, neither of us has any lines." But when Shin comes home, suddenly a line appears above her head. That confirms something, and from this line, we can make two conclusions. First, that Shin had just slept with Jasio, which feels completely impossible. Second, maybe these lines also appear when you develop sexual feelings for someone. That might be why it's showing on her head now. She gets embarrassed. Sis blushed like she just accidentally liked her crush's Instagram photo from 2017. At the police station, a woman who knows Juk comes in and greets him warmly. Dong asks Juk if she's his girlfriend, and if they've ever slept together. Juk denies it. Dong says, "Look at our job, we're so busy, where will we find time for a woman?" Juk then says, "I want to know about teacher Gajin, but I don't want to sleep with her." This man clarifies faster than someone explaining they just like her as a friend. Meanwhile, Rari is back at the hotel again. She books the same room, and Shin, while cleaning, overhears her talking to herself. Rari says, "I sleep with different men every day, but I don't feel satisfied. What's wrong with me?" She explains why she always books this room. It has a hole in the wall through which she can watch couples in the next room having sex, and she enjoys it. This woman doesn't need Netflix. She's got the Hotel Hole EUA premium subscription. Today, by chance, The person entering the room next door is none other than the music teacher. With another girl, Rari is shocked, but that's just the start. The two of them passionately get down to business, and watching this live scene not only stuns Rari but me as well. Forget 50 Shades, this was 50 gigabytes of trauma. The girl tells the teacher, "Let's meet again tomorrow. Same place, same time." The teacher agrees. The next day, Rari mixes drugs into the water in that room and gets ready with a weapon. When the same girl arrives, Rari attacks her, steals her clothes, and goes to the room herself to sleep with the music teacher, but the teacher recognizes her immediately and says, "How did you get here?" Rari insists on wanting sex and keeps saying it over and over. The teacher starts to leave, so Rari attacks him. Since he had already drunk the drugged water and now also got injured, he falls down. Rari picks him up, puts him on the bed, climbs on top, and notices that blood is pouring from his head. Now, in such a situation, what would a normal person do? Take him to a hospital, right? But no. Rari, instead of saving a dying man, does something I can't even describe without losing faith in humanity. She starts having sex with him while he's dying. This is beyond messed up. She's speedrunning necrophilia while the man's still on his last breath. And yes, exactly what she feared happens. The man dies mid-act. Congratulations, Rari, you just unlocked the worst moral achievement in human history. After some time, the teacher dies, and Rari goes into the bathroom, cuts her wrist, and kills herself. When Shin comes to clean the scene, she meets the injured girl there, too, who tells her everything. Shin takes her to the room, and what they see is shocking. 2 dead bodies lying there, the police are called. Juk asks Shin to explain. Shin says the girl used to come here and cry often. Then Juk says the glasses are connected to this case. Shin confirms. Yes, they are. Juk goes to the hospital to see Seo, then returns to his hotel and starts emptying a water bottle. That's when he finds Rari's glasses. It's almost like he already knew they'd be there. He puts them on and looks at himself. Suddenly, he sees so many lines that he's shocked. My man looked like a Wi-Fi router seeing all the available connections. He rushes to the hospital to check Seo's head for lines and sees one line going outside, connecting to someone else. Now curious about who's outside and connected, Juk runs out. And that's where episode 4 ends. Episode 5 begins with a flashback showing Juk's past. When Seo's parents died, Seo was very young, so Juk took care of her and raised her. But as she grew older, Juk's attention drifted away because he got busy with work, and Seo learned to take care of herself. Back in the present, Juk is at the police station looking at everyone's lines, because now, thanks to the glasses, he can see them. Dong has 2 lines on his head, so Juk asks if he dated anyone before marriage. Dong says yes, but he's a good man. After marriage, he never touched another woman. Dong out here winning the Loyal Husband Olympics. Juk is surprised to hear this. Just then, Yoon-jina, an idol trainee and good dancer, enters the station and says she's been raped. The scene shifts to Juk, who has brought Seo's so-called boyfriend to the hospital to check if his lines connect to hers. They don't. Juk then asks if the boyfriend knows whether Seo had another boyfriend. He replies, "How would I know? That girl's crazy. She kept talking about killing Kim because Kim bullied her all the time. I don't know about any other guy." Meanwhile, Shin is at home talking to her friend about her upcoming birthday. Suddenly, she gets a message. "Come meet me at school, I can see your lines, and happy birthday." Shin gets scared. Only her mom knows her birthday. The next day at school, she's wondering who sent the message. Then she spots Gina, the same trainee who came to the police station for the rape case. Gina has 4 lines on her head. Shin is shocked. After school, Gina comes to the police station to give her statement. She says she has a male best friend named June, who treats her like a sister. One day he invited her to his apartment. He gave her a lot to drink, and she passed out. When she woke up, she felt something strange about her body. The cop asks if she's sure something bad happened. Gina says yes. Her clothes had been taken off and put back on, probably so she wouldn't notice. But she figured it out. Sis basically solved the case with Women's Intuition 101. Juk and Dong, after hearing this, go to school to meet June. On the way, they run into teacher Garjin, who flirts with Juk, saying he looks handsome in glasses. Juk asks her where June is. Finally, they meet June, who insists he didn't do anything wrong. She's like my sister, Juk asks. Then why did you make her drink? June says they were both stressed from studying. June also works as a backstage singer at a company. On the way back, Shin spots Juk and tries to snatch his glasses, saying they're dangerous and he shouldn't wear them. Juk says, "Wait, I'm working on a case where these glasses are really helping me." They argue. These two fight like siblings arguing over the TV remote. Then Garjin shows up, and Shin walks away angrily. Juk says to Garjin, "Want to go on a date?" Garjin replies, "What did you just say?" Juk quickly covers up, "Nothing, nothing," and walks away. Here we get a big reveal. Teacher Gajin can also see the S lines without glasses, just like Shin. "See, I told you from the start. This lady's been suspicious since episode 1. She's basically walking around with a giant plot-twist incoming sign on her forehead." Juk then heads to June's company to investigate what kind of guy he is. But there, he doesn't learn much. No one gives any juicy details. June is called to the police station, where he shows his chats with Gina. They're totally normal, friendly brother-sister type conversations. "Come over, we'll hang out, talk, have fun." Nothing scandalous, so they let June go. Then Juk calls Gina and her mother in for questioning and bluntly asks Gina, "Have you ever been physical with someone?" Gina looks at her mom and firmly says, "No, never." But here's the shocking part. She has 4 S lines on her head. Juk starts thinking, if she's never done anything, why does she have 4 lines? He then calls June outside and opens the door. If they've done something together, the lines will connect. But they don't. So June is proven completely innocent. That night, Juk goes home and meets Shin. They start talking about the glasses. Juk believes the glasses can be used for good purposes too. Then he gives Shin a photo of her and her mum, telling her, "I know what happened. Don't blame yourself. It wasn't your fault. You didn't destroy your family," Shin asks. "By the way, which case are you working on?" Juk says, "Gina's rape case, your classmate." We flash back to the day when Shin was staring at Gina in class, thinking, a few days ago she was a virgin. How does she suddenly have 4 lines now in just 2-3 days? How can a girl be with 4 guys? Seriously, Gina's S-line speedrun is faster than my internet connection during a power cut. This confirms that Gina has been physical with someone. Meanwhile, Juk and Dong go to June's apartment to look for proof that something bad happened there. At the same time, Shin visits the hotel where she used to work, specifically the room where Juk found the glasses inside a bottle. Because he had told her about it, while there, her friend Jinseo shows up and asks why she's here. They joke around a bit, and suddenly they start kissing. Shin out here solving mysteries 1 minute and starring in a K-drama romance scene the next. Back at June's apartment, Juk and Dong are digging through the trash looking for evidence. They bring June back to the station because Juk still suspects him. June says, "I didn't do anything. In fact, Gina was the one who asked us to get alcohol. She sent us to the store. You can even check the CCTV." And sure enough, the footage shows June and his 3 friends coming out of the store and heading into the apartment. 4 guys in total. 2 of them had no lines on their heads, meaning they were virgins, and the other 2 had lines. But when they came out of the apartment, all 4 guys had S lines. That means they all did something inside. These clowns called her Zista just to trick her, then got her drunk, and all 4 of them took advantage of her. An absolute scumbag move. Poor Gina. Now she has 4 lines. At this rate, someone needs to put a firewall on her love life. Poor Gina doesn't even know whether it was 1 guy or 4 who did it to her. At school, we see her with 3 of her S lines connecting to the 3 boys. That means, yep, these are the same creeps. Honestly, their heads have so many S lines they could open a Wi-Fi network. This also shows they've probably done this to other girls before, pretending to be brothers and then doing all the wrong things. All 3 are arrested. One of them even starts crying, "Please let me go home. I want to go home." Oh sure, now you're a soft crying baby, but 5 minutes ago you were auditioning for worst human ever. Juk drags him to the store where they bought the alcohol. The guy panics. Why did you bring me here? And tries to run away, but he gets caught. Then he spills everything. Jun planned the whole thing. Jun said he'd invite Gina, they'd get her drunk, and then all four of them would do it. But Jun still refuses to admit it, he says. Bring proof that I planned it or did it, Juk replies. I've got 3 witnesses. On the way home, Juk tells Shin that they've finally found the criminals. Shin asks, so will they be punished? Juk says, I don't know, let's see. He says this because in Korea the law is too soft on such cases. If you're a minor and commit a crime like this, you don't go to prison. They just send you to juvenile detention where life is actually pretty chill. Good food, sleep all day, exercise, play games. Basically, it's like sending a criminal to summer camp instead of jail. Then Shin talks to Juk about the S-lines. Yes, the same thing I've been wondering since the start. Why does your head have so many lines? Shin says, if my head had that many lines, I'd drown myself in a bucket of water. Juk replies, stop making fun of me. Just then, Juk gets a call and rushes to the hospital. His father has gone missing again. CCTV footage shows a woman taking him. Looking closely, it's teacher Gi-jan. Then Juk gets a message, a video of Seo being taken. He rushes to save her, but when he arrives, Seo is fine. However, her S-line is connected to someone. Remember that scene we saw at the end of episode 4? He secretly checks who she's connected to. And it's his own father. That means this old man, his dad, has been sexually assaulting Seo since her childhood. Yep, the man deserves a lifetime subscription to getting punched in the face. Furious, Juk starts beating his father, shouting, why are you here? Why did you do this to her? Episode 6 begins with a new girl working at a cafe. Suddenly, one day, she gets a message from someone blackmailing her with a private video of her with her boyfriend. The demands are weird and creepy. She can't fulfill them. And the next day, the video is leaked in her university. She can't face anyone now. She goes home, hides under a blanket and cries. Later, she finds out it was her boyfriend all along. The same guy who made the video is now using it to blackmail her. Broken and hopeless, she walks in front of a car to end her life. But Gi-jin arrives just in time and saves her. Gi-jin asks, what happened? Then she gives her a pair of glasses, the special ones, and says, wear them. Your life will change completely. Now we see Shin with Jinseo in a hotel room. Honestly, it looks like Shin's about to eat this guy alive. That's exactly her plan. She brought him here to get physical. But Jinseo gets scared and says, no, I can't do this. This man came in thinking it's a romantic date but ended up in a survival episode. Shin said, it's up to you. Do it or don't. But I want you to be the first person to touch me. Jinseo replied, okay, but where will we get protection from? Turns out Shin had come fully prepared. Girl brought a whole survival kit. This was no spontaneous romance, this was a scheduled operation. The two ended up making love, and their S-lines connected. It was the first time for both of them, and they were glowing with happiness afterward. Seriously, their faces were shining so bright they could power a small village. Jinseo wanted to take her out for food, but Shin said, if I miss my last bus, I won't be able to get home. So Jinseo told her, wait 2 minutes, I'll be right back, and ran off to buy her a cake. Shin stood in front of a mirror, looking at herself and at her S-line, feeling good that she had done this and gotten her line. But suddenly, the S-line disappeared, because behind her, Jinseo had been in an accident. Something had pierced his stomach, and he died right there on the road. It was a horrible scene. Jinseo was such a good guy. He didn't deserve this. Meanwhile, Fate is out here acting like a bad scriptwriter. Shin was furious. She thought, I made a relationship with him, and I took his life. I shouldn't have done this. She cried a lot. Then she got a video showing her other friend tied up in school, with someone calling her there repeatedly. She quickly called Juk and explained, Every birthday, someone sends me a gift. I thought it was my mom because only she knows my birthday, but it was someone else. She showed him the video of her friend, and they both ran to the school to rescue her. Shin burst into the classroom, freed her friend, and said, "Let's go." Juk, the inspector, was supposed to be there too, but when they came outside, he wasn't. In another scene, we see that Juk was there, but in a different mirror world. The school was the same, but they couldn't see each other because they were in separate dimensions. They kept searching but couldn't meet. Shin got stuck in a dirty, creepy place, walking in circles while Juk rushed up to the roof. She heard a door slam above her and went up too, but she still couldn't see him. He was in another world. Surrounded by many people. From a flashback, we learn that Juk once asked Gi-jin, "Why did you give me these weird glasses that show S lines?" She replied, "I changed your life. You were going to die, but now you can take lives instead." Ah yes, the classic motivational speech. Straight from a supervillain. Shin told her friend she could see S lines. Her friend put on the glasses and asked, "What S line?" "This one." Then she added, "I know you can see them without glasses. Teacher Gajin told me." Hearing this, Shin got angry and tried to snatch the glasses, knowing they were cursed. Whoever kept them would die for sure. In the other world, Yi-jin had countless S-lines on her head and was killing Juk's father because that old man had done disgusting things too. Honestly, this Dad's Father of the Year award has been permanently cancelled. Juk tried to save him, but Gi-jin handed him a weapon and said, "Here, kill him yourself." When Juk refused, she killed his father herself and told him, "I'm leaving you alive so you can take care of Seo." Shin, meanwhile, killed her friend and broke her glasses, then came back to her senses. It's revealed that once someone wears the glasses, Teacher Gi-jin can control them completely. Shin then jumped and entered the other world, where Juk was, and they both started shouting for each other. Gajin told Shin, "You've spent your whole life thinking you're cursed." But no. These S-lines appear for good reasons. You can use them for something positive. Shin asked, "If these S-lines cause people to die, what's so good about them?" Valid question, because Gajin is out here trying to sell murder as a self-improvement plan. Then everyone started attacking Shin. Suddenly, her mum appeared. But the knife hit her, and she died. While dying, her mum told her, "They got the glasses too, son. It's not your fault. Because of your drawings, I didn't realise." Turns out her mum already had the glasses and had seen that Shin's father wasn't just having an affair with her aunt. He had 36 other women outside. This man wasn't a family man. He was a touring production. Back in the present, Shin went to stab Gajin. But Gajin stabbed Shin first, and Shin floated into the air, then fell down, got up, and stabbed Gajin to death. Gajin died, but not before pulling some final stunt. At the end, we see everyone snapping out of her control and running away. Turns out this was all happening on the school rooftop. Duke tried to grab the glasses, but Shin stopped him. Then Gajin's last magic trick kicked in. Now everyone could see each other's S-lines without the glasses. Congrats, humanity. Privacy just officially retired. The narrator wonders, wow, what a world. Zero cheating now. But if this really happened, what would you guys think? Then we see a scene 1 year later. People now travel on the metro wearing helmets, because if others saw their heads full of S-lines, they'd be judged. Basically, the new social media is staring at someone's forehead. People would think, look how many S-lines this guy has. Who knows what he's been doing? Probably cheating. So now, people hide their faces because they can't hide their S-lines. Shin was happy. Before, only she could see the lines, but now the whole world could. Shin herself had 0 lines and no one knew where S-lines came from. But we know it was all Gajin's doing. Seo recovered, and she also had 0 S-lines, because the disgusting old man who assaulted her was dead. But Juk still hadn't told her about it. Shin continued visiting Jin Seo's memorial regularly, remembering him. And there she met Teacher Gajin, who whispered a name in her ear, and that's where the drama ended.